everybody, welcome back to Dress to Quest. I'm Nathan, I'm the DM here, and thank you so much as always for joining us. We are a D&D actual play live stream, and we have an emphasis on cosplay, as you can see. And we're playing in the Ghosts of Saltmarsh setting. And we're all at level 8. Well, the players at level 8. I am whatever needs to happen. With that in mind, let's transition over to intros for our players, starting with Chris.
Oh, okay. It's on. Hi, everyone. I'm Chris. I play Ayize Marley, the human Tamitian wizard. And I'm happy to be here and hope to be on dry land soon.
Indeed. And I just realized that my overlay is slightly reversed in the character order. So we're actually going to go to Eric next, if you don't mind.
Cool. Hi, guys. I'm Eric Wahlberg. I play Volric the Grim.
There you go.
He came back changed. He's no more dad jokes. He's a
There's
5th
gotta be a
level
little.
Rune Knight fighter
Death
and
killed me.
a 3rd level College of Swords bard. And yeah, he's ready to kind of recap that entire war shenanigans and how it went down.
Indeed. Next we have Amy.
Hey everybody, my name is Amy. I play Chinyar, who is an Eladrin cleric. And I'm also happy to be back on dry land.
Excellent. And then we have, Josh, if you don't mind.
Everybody, I'm Josh. Might know me as Winged Horizon, and I play Shifty Capone, the real Malone. I'm a halfling arcane trickster that was a smuggler at one point, and now is just out to save Saltmarsh.
Awesome. And last but not least, we have Space.
What the? Okay, Zoom is acting crazy. What's up, guys? I'm Space. I play Aspen, the Asimar, Divine Soul Sorcerer, Hexblade Warlock. And I too am happy to be back on dry land. So.
Awesome. Well, with that, why don't we jump right into our recap and then get right back into the story. So, last we left off, our heroes had just finished defeating the Sahuagin threat south of Saltmarsh. The Sahuagin seem to have been influenced by the evil god Tharizdun. Tharizdun trying to find their way into the material plane, but our heroes managed to stop them there. After this war, unfortunately, one of the council members of Saltmarsh, one of the 5 council members, Eleander Fireborn, was assassinated during the battle. Seemed to have been an inside job. Our heroes had run-ins with the Zentarum and know that the Zentarum are working behind the scenes all throughout the Sword Coast, so this may be a likely culprit to what had happened. After dealing with all of the aftermath of the fight, you gathered up your crew aboard the Diora and started to head back to Saltmarsh. On your way, you had a little detour as you found a castaway, someone floating at sea, a young elven woman that you pulled aboard who was being pursued by a vampire pirate. You managed to just almost escape this vampire pirate, which was in a ghost ship consumed with fog, but unfortunately the vampire pirate was able to catch up with you before you could get to Saltmarsh, and an epic battle ensued where it was revealed that this vampire was the thought dead brother of the castaway that you had picked up. She struck the final blow on her brother, killing him and putting him to rest once and for all, and you all managed to limp your way back to Saltmarsh with the now damaged Diora pulling into port, getting ready to collect your rewards from the previous adventure and discuss what is next with the council. So, with that, let's open it up to the players here. So, it is late evening as the Diora limps into the harbor of Saltmarsh. You have various massive holes in the side of the ship. One entire side of the ship, the railing is completely like ripped off, and one of the masts is a little cracked from where it had slammed into the other ship during the battle. But you pull into port, dock the ship, and Saltmarsh is yours. It is the evening, so you just see all the twinkling lights as the crew is shouting and throwing ropes overboard and pulling the ship in and lashing it down. What would you all like to do? We don't have to go, minute by minute. We can also montage things, but we'll start with Aize.
Just a question: have we had a chance to have a long rest, or are we still?
I would say that I don't think so, because this is only you were almost to Saltmarsh when that battle took place, so it's probably been 2 hours since that battle as you're pulling into port. So it has not been long at all.
So Volric would suggest that we all stay in our cabins and sleep for 8 hours before we go into town.
Okay. Would you all like to do that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's a great idea.
Okay, excellent. Oh, Shifty, you're muted. Shifty, did you want to do something?
I think Shifty's going to go straight to the tavern.
Okay. So Shifty, you disembark the Diora and head across the harbor, going for the Empty Net.
Is there any more seedy places?
No, the Empty Net is the spot.
The seedy to the seedy, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to stay with the frog.
They sell CDs there?
Yeah, they got some nice ripped CDs, bootlegs. Radio edits. There's some weird glitches in there. Anyways,
Pirates of the Caribbean, sorry.
yeah. So Shifty, you head in and go.
I sneak off the boat, so nobody knows really that I got off. I'm just gonna jump off the boat because they're like, "Oh, everybody go to the cabin, get some rest," and I'm just like, "Okay, yeah." Then I'm going to go out the window or something like that, and then find my way out.
Okay, so we see Shifty sneak off the side of the window, climbing down the side of the vessel and leaping onto the dock, scurrying off. Entering into the Empty Net, it is lively as ever. It's actually no, I take that back. It's relatively slow right now. There's not many folk in here due to most of the people being recruited for the battle that just took place. So really, you only see. Oh boy, I didn't have my NPCs ready for the Empty Net. It's okay, no matter. You, unless Aspen, you happen to have it in front of you.
We have Ellis and Raffin with us.
On
So
board
what
the
would
ship.
leave?
It would have
that
just
would leave
been,
the cook.
Yeah, it would have just been the cook, yeah. I think he would be the only one left behind, so that would be, you go in to the Empty Net, Shifty, and there is what appear to be like 2 customers in here that are likely passing through town. They seem to be wearing they look like they're wearing like travel wear, like their clothes are a bit faded and kind of mud stained as they're sitting here in the tavern kind of brewing over their drinks. And the only individual that is left to work the tavern is Tani, who is the dwarf who right now is behind the bar, sort of like cleaning out a glass, looks up and sees you and waves and goes, "Ah, Shifty, you made it back."
Yeah, we did. What you got over there? Give me a shot of the hardest.
Of course.
Marsh.
This will definitely be on the house for you. And he pours you a glass of whiskey or a shot of whiskey and slides it over.
That'd be like a silver or
Nope,
hoppers?
on the house. You're good.
Oh, that's right. On the house, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, my mind's gone, Connie. It was a pretty bad place. We lost some people.
But you managed to survive. It looks like. I saw the flagship of Eleander's boat pull in. I didn't see any of the other vessels. Were there any other survivors?
Oh yes, and most of the team that I took with me, my group, except one, maybe 2, both friends.
Huh.
And then
Well,
It's time to-
Captain Shifty, why aren't you on the vessel with your other mates?
I'm no longer captain. I've taken a different career path. I think it's back to my old ways.
Oh, why have you done that?
I'm not fit to be a captain. It changes me. So, I'm gonna go back to where I used to be. I'm gonna go back to shooting some whiskey and finding some good deals and sneaking in and out of places when I need to.
Well, we all know you're good at that, Shifty. You taught me a few things here and there over the years. Well, I'm glad to see you back, and I'm glad the others made it okay.
We won. Apparently.
Good. Oh, that's wonderful. So the other ships are okay then? The other smugglers?
I think so, yeah. Just there's going to be a disruption, I think, in the council.
Oh?
One of the people have fallen.
Oh no. Really? Which one?
You would never believe it if I told you.
I would assume it'd be Galen. I heard he went out there, and I don't think that man can stand his own in a battle. I shouldn't speak ill of the dead.
Nothing to do with that, but no, surprisingly, our brave Oleander, captain of the guard, he's
Yeah.
finally has one pig too many, apparently.
Well, as much as I hate the Lord's Alliance, I did respect him. He did do a lot for us when Umberlee's Tyrants was at their height.
Yeah, he did. I worry about who might replace him. Anyways, let's get drunk.
Yeah, all right. I can get behind that. And he pours you another drink and takes one for
I'm just
himself.
gonna keep going that night until I probably fall asleep at the bar and I get carried somewhere.
Okay.
Or fall asleep at the bar, they leave me there. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. As you're getting deeper into your cups, you kind of hear like a little bit of a like raucous laughter rising up from that table of the two individuals that seem to be traveling through town. As you look over, you can see that someone else has joined them there. You don't recognize them. They appear to be kind of a very like battered, like sea-weathered old man who's kind of telling them tall tales and cracking them up, and they're all laughing and having a good time. But something catches your ear as they're speaking to each other. Give me a moment, please. Here it is. Yeah, so you're listening to this crew. It looks like there's these two traveling individuals. They look to be these two kind of rugged women with dark brown hair. They have what looks like some like thick leather armor pieces on, and their packs are off to the side, and they are already very deep into their drinks. And there's this old weathered like what looks to be like a sailor who's like telling them these stories, and it catches your ear because you hear this sailor going, you wouldn't believe it, and it's this poor fella, he came into Skullport. You know Skullport, right? The underbelly of Waterdeep. Oh, this poor fella, he came dragging in a great big carcass of a whale. It was bloated, full of gas, right? You know how they do that when they rot. And as any good sailor would know, you don't want to get close to a rotten corpse. And the two women kind of laugh and sneer, go, "Oh yeah, no, we would know, of course not to do that. We've heard the stories." "Ah, yes, well, this individual here, he was quite a fool. He brought out his pipe right next to this carcass, lit it up, boom! Whale guts went everywhere, all over Skullport." And all of them burst out laughing from this. He kind of leans in. "Here's the thing, though. There's some that think this fella, he may have survived it. May have survived that explosion. And it's said that those who he is working for are still looking for him. Real upset about what he did. You know, sending those stinky guts all over Skullport. Took them weeks to clean it up." And the two women kind of lean in, laughing. What was this fella's name? I mean, surely there must have been a name for this poor fella that went up and exploded into guts with the whale.
You always tell tall tales.
What?
What's wrong with you? Come on, we're trying to drink in peace over here.
I was just telling a story. That's a good one, too. You should come over and take a listen.
Yeah, it sounds like a whale of a time.
It most certainly is. I'm trying to remember. I think that the name of this fellow was, what was it? I think it was Neville. Neville, was it? He was a halfling, I believe. And, Shifty, is you kind of, are you, like, sneering at the group over there? Much like you are now?
Yeah.
This kind of old, crusty sailor, sort of, like, the two women are kind of laughing and chuckling to themselves and sort of, like, paying mind to themselves. And in that brief moment where they look away from him, he kind of glances his eyes over and just locks them with you for a moment and then gives a quick hand signal that says, "Meet at Crabber's Cove." And then he kind of goes back. "But you know, I doubt that fella managed to survive such a chaotic event as that. But makes for a good story, don't it?" And they kind of go up in laughter and continue talking amongst themselves.
There's no way he would have survived. I heard that story too. I heard he was blown to smithereens with the rest of the whale. They found him in the blubber, drowned.
Is that so?
Down in the under mountain. I heard. That's what I heard.
Well, seems like a likely story. Would you like to join us for some drinks, young man?
Nah, I'm good.
Suit yourself.
Just got back from a adventure of my own.
There's lots of them going around these.
Saving Saltmarsh.
Indeed. And they go back, and he continues to kind of regale them with stories as they sit there and listen and laugh. Shifty, do you want to do anything else this evening, or are you going to stay here and continue to drink?
I'm going to dismiss myself and get a room.
Okay. You head into a room and
lock the door, and then I'm going to go to another place and go to that inn instead.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sure, yeah. Why don't you make a stealth check for me at disadvantage because you've been drinking all night.
That would make sense.
You know, Nathan, we should have renamed the title of this episode to Shifty's Pub Crawl.
Oh my god, I rolled a nat 1.
Okay. You stumble off.
I get to re-roll that with the luck?
Yeah, yes. You have the Halfling Lucky feature.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I do. There we go, a 12. A little bit better.
A little bit, yeah. All right, you stumble off as quietly as you can and find yourself in another inn and bed on down for the evening.
I'll pay him like 10 silver or whatever just to keep it quiet.
Sure. Yeah, you want to pay Tawny that? Go for it. Yeah.
Connie and wherever I stay.
Yeah, okay. All right, and with that, Shifty, as you go
Hey,
back,
sir.
as you drift off into sleep, the rest of you have a relatively uneventful evening as you drift off and go off into dreamland. Chenyar, as you are sleeping, you suddenly find yourself opening your eyes in a familiar environment of mist and shadow. Looking around, yeah, go for it.
She breathes in deeply, familiar scents and sounds and feel of the place. She looks around and says, home?
As you look around and say that, you suddenly see kind of a burst of color on the horizon, just a bright sort of like watercolor splash of orange and green and yellow that kind of across the horizon. And you do swear that you almost feel a little bit of warmth sort of caress across your cheeks from a breeze. But almost as instantly as you see that, it sort of gets pulled back into black and white and shadow. And you hear a voice drift over. Soon, soon. But there's still that thing I'm asking of you. A little bit of an unresolved thread to be plucked at. I think you know of what I speak.
I do.
Good. And you kind of feel a gentle hand grab onto your left upper arm, and then hear the whispering of the voice just right in your ear as if they are right next to you. You're going to need to make this quick. There's something waiting for you at home that I need you to attend to. Soon.
Yes, my queen. I understand.
Good.
I will finish my assignment.
I know you will.
Thank you, my queen. Thank you for your aid. As always.
Oh, thank you. Truly, Chenyar, thank you. You've brought me so many delicious things over these past few days.
I'm sure. I will continue to collect trinkets to impress you and win your favor.
Good, thank you. Now, you must be resting. She kind of gives you a gentle push, and then you're back into darkness, and then awaken to the dawn light. All of you can get a long rest.
As she wakes up,
Yeah.
DM, she has something on her mind that she very much wishes to tie up a bit.
Yeah, sure.
So she will quietly get dressed and slip out from her cabin, and it'll be fairly early when there isn't much stirring going on just yet, and she will knock very quietly on Aspen's door.
Aspen, you hear a knock at your door.
Come in.
Aspen, am I disturbing you?
No. I'm up. I'm up. Give me a second. Let me just put my hat on. Yeah. What's up? What can I do for you?
Well, may I sit next to you? Is it okay if I sit?
Yeah, of course. I just hold my hand out like to her.
She reaches back over and takes your hand. And she looks at you and she says, I feel I owe you a bit of an explanation. I assume at this point you know that Corlin is not my god. You might have been
I mean,
confused
matron,
as to,
I was a little.
I thought so, and I feel a kinship to you that I don't have with the others. And I felt I wanted to talk with you a little bit about the reasons for my deception, as far as telling you initially that Corlin was my allegiance. I was a little bit, well, I was quite frankly unsure how anyone would react if I had mentioned the Raven Queen was my patron. But I want you to understand, and I don't think the others will. I don't know how much you understand about Eladrins and how we take our experiences into the next life that we live. As you can see, I am winter. What that means is I am in utter sorrow. And I do not wish to continue to be in utter sorrow when I should pass on into the next life. I don't want to carry this forever, perpetually, life after life. So I pleaded with Corlin to take this burden from me, but he would not. I tried all that I could to carry the burden until I knew it would never go away. The burden I speak of is, it is hard for me to even say.
If you don't have to talk about it, if you don't
No,
want to, that's
I don't want to talk about this with the others, but I do want you to know. I want you to understand.
okay. I mean, okay.
I had a family. I had 3 baby girls. They were my life. It is rare for an Eladrin to have triplets, and in the Fae, 3 has much significance. They were considered a rare gift from Corlin, a sign. I had gone to the High Court as a cleric in my clerical duties, only to return to have my village had been slaughtered, my baby girls slaughtered. I went mad. Everything that I loved was taken from me, with no explanation as to why and who did this. I searched for vengeance for decades upon decades, and I could not find those that slaughtered my village. But it's much worse. You see, I had left my village with a few others, and we came back to our village being slaughtered. We found what we thought was those that did this. Traces of some paths, and we trailed it. We found a group. We were convinced they were responsible. They had my husband's guard and other things from our village. We were sure. And so, in our rage, we slaughtered them all. We
I
found
just
the
grabbed
journal on
her.
the mage's journal. And I read it, and it had said that they had come across a village of slaughtered Eladrins. Not knowing what to do, they thought that they would just take whatever was left because there was nothing they could do for the dead. And then they grew scared that whatever power could have slaughtered so many people would be back. And so they fled, and it wasn't them that slaughtered my people. But we had killed them, and they were the only ones that possibly could have told us anything about who killed my people. And so I had to carry that burden of shame. My comrades, one by one, have not been able to continue, and some have passed to the next life. I sought out the Raven Queen to remove my memories because I could not live with what has happened to me. I don't want to share that with the others, but with you, I feel that you and I somehow are connected, and I always have since the moment I saw you. I told you that I'm here for you. Your face was in my visions, that you have a great pain that you are dealing with yourself.
I think in this moment, with Shinyar saying this to Aspen, like Aspen doesn't have any words. She's speechless. And I think she'll do what she normally doesn't, which is hug Shinyar because she doesn't know what to say.
Shinyar will hug her back and start to weep.
Hey, it's okay. I got you. Okay. I'm sorry about your family. And I mean, I know a thing or two about family, and I'm so sorry this happened to you.
There is nothing anyone can do for me, except possibly the Raven Queen. But my memories, if I'm to get my wish, she will take them from me. And I don't know what else she might take. So before that's gone, I wanted you to know everything about me. And she will lean over and she will kiss Aspen. Thank you for being there for me. And she will hold your face. You have no idea what that has meant for me.
Yeah, I think Aspen would just sit there speechless. She'll just look at Shinyar for a moment. And I think she would like kiss her back. Mm-hmm. But she would also like grab her hands, both hands in her own, and squeeze them reassuringly. Because this is someone, even though they've known each other for a short period of time, Aspen feels that connection to Shinyar, that Shinyar is speaking verbally. Aspen has felt that. And for her to be, as Shinyar makes her so nervous to the point where she is unable to speak. And she would just try to comfort her as best as she can as she cries, and like rub her back.
Hmm.
Um, and I think she would let her cry as long as she needs to.
As the two of you sit there and embrace each other, um, you have a moment of time where you kind of, I don't know, you both begin to trust each other in this moment, right? You have this quiet moment together where you're Chenyar, you're being very vulnerable with Aspen, and all of that is kind of shattered in an instant with just an abrupt and the gruff voice of Gog on the other side going, Captain!
One moment, please. I'll be out in a second.
Okay. Some of the other crew are out here getting a bit antsy, wanting to go see the council. Should I say anything?
Tell them that I will be out there in a moment to address the recent events. And just tell them I'll be there in a second.
Okay.
And you hear the heavy footsteps walking away and kind of muffled, like, all right. Do the two of you do anything else before exiting Aspen's chambers?
I will, as she's squeezing my hand, I'm going to take her hand and then I'm going to kiss it. I'm going to put it up to my mouth and kiss it very gently. And I will look her in the face and I will say, you know everything there is to know about me. Please don't let anything wipe that memory of me away.
Never. I would never allow that to happen. I wish we had more time to do this. I wish I didn't have this sudden responsibility because I would love to tell you more about myself. But I think I just want you to know that I felt this connection with you as well. I think I've just been so nervous around you. It's different when I talk to you versus when I talk to the others.
I feel the same.
You make I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut this short, but I don't want the others to.
Go, Captain. I'll be here when you're ready, Captain.
Okay. Thank you. And I will not drag, but I will stand up and hold my hand out to Shenyar, kind of like looping my arm with hers as we exit the captain. Well, I don't think I would have moved into the captain's quarters. I think I would have stayed in my
your own
room.
quarters. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I lead her out into the top deck, looking around for our party.
Yeah.
For Vorik and Shifty and Aize.
Got it. You step out onto the deck. You can hear the creaking of wood and the seabirds overhead, and the crew sort of shuffling about as they're getting ready for their morning. Hear the cries of dock workers out in the harbor. Aize, Volric, Shifty, can we assume you all are out on the deck at this point? Yes?
Yep.
Okay, so you see all of your crew standing there as everybody kind of stands at the ready. You see some of the other crew sort of hurriedly finish up what they're doing and then scurry down onto the main deck and stand at attention looking towards you and Chenyar.
I kind of grab Shenyar, like I squeeze her hand, I take a deep breath, and then I just look out at everyone. Okay, I guess I'm doing this. Everyone. And I kind of just look over them once more. I know these past couple of days have been very chaotic, but I'm proud to say that in this war, even though we lost people, we still came out victorious, and that's because of each and every one of you. I don't think we could have gotten as far without all of you. And I know with us switching leadership and everything, I know Shifty would have gave just as good of a speech. But I think he's just as proud as I am of all of you, as is every other member of my party. I kind of raised my hand with Shinyar's hand. I kind of point to Vorik, our first mate, and Aize, our quartermaster. I don't think we could have gotten it as far without any of you. And I want to thank you all for your service. Thank you for aiding us and helping us do what we need to do. And you know, I think I think we all need a break after that long, treacherous war. So I'll say this. I think you all deserve a bonus in your pay. And as soon as we get back from the council, I want you all to come see me and we'll get that settled, okay?
There's kind of some like excited like murmuring amongst the crew, and you see eyes kind of go wide, and there's definitely some excitement that sort of brews up amongst everyone.
So in Chinyar's best way that she can, without like being overly emotional, she will raise her hand up and she will cheer to the captain and say, "Victory for Saltmarsh! Victory for Captain Aspen!"
All the crew.
I get the crowd going.
Yeah, all the crew sort of takes a second, and then the first one to jump in is Gog, who just goes, "Yeah, victory for Saltmarsh!" And then everybody goes, "Yeah!" And all the crew start to cheer up and join in the chant. And you can even notice that some of the dock workers off to the side sort of stop what they're doing and look at this sort of raucous movement that just occurred on the ship. It's also at this moment that you start to see the flecks of white sails out on the horizon as the rest of the fleet is starting to pour in the early morning light. Everyone seems ecstatic about you mentioning bonuses, so everyone's really happy. Anything else for you, Aspen, as the cheering kind of subsides?
I am done speaking, so I'm going to hand this over to our first mate, Mr. Vorik.
Captain.
The crew turns their attention to Volric.
I have been on many ships and many battles, and I saw the way you handled yourself against the vampire ship. You did well. In the end, we could not outrun it, but we are mortals, they are not. You did well. We survived. The ship survived. And then, of course, the rest of us, I look at the other party. We did what we had to do, which was slay that vile vampire. And I have to say this as well. This change with the captain may be abrupt, but has been decided by your former captain. I honor this, you should honor this. No doubt the bonus will help. But nonetheless, know she is your captain now. That is all.
Yeah, they all sort of nod, and you do see some crew Shifty. They look to you sort of like expectantly to see if you do anything. You give a nod.
I look downtrodden, but then I look up and I say, I give a nod to them and to her, and I take off my hat so I kind of blend in with them a little bit.
Okay.
Their needs, yes.
And what role will you be taking, Shifty?
I will be the cook.
Cook. Okay. Was there already a cook? I thought there was somebody that was, but that's yeah. I thought there was like an NPC that was a cook for some reason.
Well, James was the cook for a while.
That's what it was. That's what I was thinking of.
I
Yeah.
thought we had a cook named James.
No.
Oh, I see. Somebody
he's not here
decided
now.
that Oceana should be the bosun's weapons master. What?
I'm not
Uh,
I'm not good at fixing things, and
I think maybe our ship's discussion and the council is in order, and we could discuss all this.
so I will.
Has Shifty ever cooked for us? Is my question.
Shifty, have you ever cooked? No.
Absolutely not.
I like when he says absolutely. I'm like, no, you made that pasta that one time. It was really good. I remember you came over. Well, it was kind of at Larissa's house, but yeah, you came over and you made that seafood pasta. What did you call it?
Phantasma.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I think Shifty will. I mean, is that really what you want to do?
I may have to go away for a while. Possibly.
What? No.
I will. I need to keep my head low.
Are we all on the ship with all the crew
Yeah,
on us
everybody's
now?
doing this. That's why I
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
I'll be the cook. I'll be the cook. It's the most. Nobody ever suspects to cook.
Captain, if I may speak.
I just look at Shifty for a moment, kind of like contemplating if I want to say something now or wait until. I think I'll wait until the crew is, or until I can get him alone to like actually speak to him.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
the crew is dismissed, and they all go off and finish up their morning duties. And then you see, as soon as they're done, a lot of them just exit the ship and go off into town to take their shore leave.
Everybody would probably notice that I look really hungover too.
Okay.
So there is that telltale sign as well.
So you all, after a few 5 minutes or so, the deck is cleared, and you're standing there, just the lot of you on the deck of the ship.
Well, I no longer need to speak in that the crew's gone already. I turn to Shifty. Why are you pouting? Help us understand this.
Not pouting, surviving.
Shifty, do you
You're-
feel that you killed everyone? Is that why you're doing this?
I have my reasons.
Aize turns around and starts walking towards the council building.
Okay.
Anyone coming? I
Like
think
I
we're
said,
looking for a meeting
I have
with
my
them.
reasons. Everything will be fine. It's all going according to plan.
So you don't wish to speak about it?
And we should honor that, Thalric. If Shifty wants to share that with us, we will when he is ready.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah.
This is fine. I will not bring it up again. And I will follow Aize.
Okay. Aize and Volric leave the ship, leaving the three of you.
Chinyar will look to Aspen, and she will wait for her patient.
Okay. Are you all gonna head to the council meeting?
Can I do an insight check on Shifty?
Sure. Shifty, you can roll
If
a
I see
deception
that
if you
she's
want.
if I see that she's doing something like that, I will brush her arm very gently, and I will give her guidance.
Okay.
Yeah, I needed that. Yep.
Well,
5,
Oh dear.
9.
Okay. I mean, Shifty, are you trying to see? Yeah. I mean, you can't tell. Shifty is just,
I'm keeping it to myself.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Really keep it close to the chest.
I sound exactly what I said. I want to go unnoticed.
Okay.
I will just turn with Shinyar. Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
Kind of waddle my way there because I am still a little bit I haven't gotten over everything from the night before.
All right, understood. You all arrive at the council hall, entering inside. Approaching the council hall at the front doors, you immediately see there are a couple of Lord's Alliance guards there that recognize you first, Aize, and they step aside and open the door, and one of them says, Council is waiting for you in the back room in Ida's office. And they kind of direct you towards the back where you've been before. As the rest of you file in, you are given the same direction, and eventually you all find yourself standing in Ida's office with just the remaining council members. Standing here, you have Ida Oland, the older woman who's the kind of the oldest council member here. Dark skin, close crop, salt and pepper hair, and kind of a burly, solid frame. You as well, you see Galen standing there with his sort of gray blonde hair and still wearing, very elegant outfit even this early in the morning, albeit looking a little tired. And Monastrad Copperlocks, the dwarven woman. She's got her riding pants on and elegant black coat accented with the purple and gold, and her amber hair with the braided chin strap that kind of goes across. And last but not least, there's of course Anders Solmore there, the youngest council member, with his straight black hair, really big dark eyes, kind of sharp features, and his big broad smile as he sees you all enter the room, which kind of fades into a bit of a solemn bit of grief. And there is sort of a darker feeling in the room as you all enter in. Ida looks at you all as you settle in, and she says, well, congratulations is in order, despite us losing quite a wonderful man. You notice another figure in the room as you kind of settle in. Standing in the corner, you didn't quite notice them at first. They were sort of keeping to themselves, and you can tell they're kind of a bit. They look a bit shy, like they're kind of awkward standing here in this room. I would say that Volric, you are probably the first to spot them. I feel like you have a pretty good passive perception. Maybe Chenyar, the two of you. You see in the corner, Volric, you've seen this individual before, a half-orc man. Let me see here.
I would absolutely have been whispering in Aspen's ear saying, who's that?
And Aspen, you see this individual as well as Chenyar says that. There's this bulky half-orc man. He's got these like really thick, hairy forearms and a big wide chest. He has dark gray purple skin with thick tossal black hair and really stocky tusks. But he looks very uncomfortable and awkward standing in the corner. Ida kind of spots a few of you noticing this individual, and Ida nods and says, I hope you all don't mind. Crag's gonna be joining us here for a bit. Crag was Eleander's husband and wanted to be here for this for a moment. He wanted to know exactly what happened, and figured it would be nice to hear it from all of you. Crag kind of steps forward and sort of grabs his arms, seeming a bit cold. Hi, Volric. Good to see you again. Were any of you there when it happened?
I came after. We were in battle at the time of his death in another place.
I've been informed by the council here that you think there was foul play.
There was. An assassin's blade from behind. Wyvern Venom. And I look at Shifty because I hear he's trying to say something.
I said he was shanked from behind, like a sneak attack. Somebody
Cat.
snuck up behind him and shanked him. Only way they could have got him. Cut in the back. Under the rib.
I understand.
Whoever did it, what they were doing.
You have any idea who could have done this?
Do I have anybody in this area that could have done that?
We
Yeah, go ahead.
we have no leads at this point in time, but rest assured, we will find out who did this.
I would not be surprised if this was connected with the sabotaging of the other adventurers that we found. Or at least one of them that we found as a prisoner on our first foray into the Sahagan lair.
All right.
What do you plan to do with the council?
Oh, me?
No, the group of you. Are you going to replace the lost council member?
Crag
Who's-
kind of
who's position?
steps away, realizing this is about a bigger topic. Ida, yeah, Aspen.
I will message Shifty and say, "What are you doing?" Now, why would you say that? He is grieving right now. And are you drunk right now? Are you serious, Shifty?
Only had a few.
A few, you were staggering as we were walking here.
But I'm not slurring.
You're not being compassionate either. This man just lost his husband. He doesn't need to be asked if we're gonna replace a new council member. Come on, Shifty.
Whoever replaces him is probably the one that is connected to the who did it. They left a hole. It was to replace him. There's only one thing that could do that. So that's why I asked if they already thought about who was coming in.
And if that's true, it's not the time to say such things. Let the man grieve in peace.
As the two of you are having this quiet telepathic conversation with the message spell, Ida has kind of sat forward, looking at you, Shifty, as you're having this kind of like side conversation.
It's like gazing off, yeah.
I'd like to.
We haven't.
I would like to step up to Crag. I know he stepped away.
Okay.
I want to step up to him. I am sorry for your loss, and you know that your husband was a great warrior and did much for Saltmarsh. And although he did not die in battle against the true enemy, he died doing what was most important. Ultimately, it is an honorable death, and you should be proud of him, regardless of what happened.
I'll try. I know. I hope he'll show up in the histories, in the stories.
He will. He will. He got the Umberleaf Pirates. Never forget that. He lost a ring for that.
I know. I thought that was the last of his adventures. When he took this job, he assured me it was just gonna be dealing with drunks and smugglers.
Him and I may have not gotten along very well. He always thought I was my namesake was following me or something. But he was an honorable person, and I think he did He did die fighting for a good cause. He didn't die in vain. Somebody took him by surprise. Somebody he knew probably.
All right.
And I'm gonna hear that she starts like, we're messaging
Yeah.
back and forth, and I just suddenly throw my hands up and like, and I just kind of like just throw my hands up unexpectedly and just rush out of the room.
Okay. That happens, and like the whole council kind of stiffens up and looks around, like very confused as to this sudden outburst,
The door hits me.
and kind of looks back to the group. Ida looks to you, Aspen.
I apologize for that. We've been having a rough time since we lost Warwick here, and you see, we got him back. We tried to do the same for Eleander, but we were depleted of all of our resources, and I think Shifty is having somewhat of a hard time still.
All right. It's understandable. It was. To answer Shifty's question, we know we have not even begun to discuss who would be replacing Eleander. We were hoping to get some information from all of you, hoping you might know a little more about who could have done this to Eleander. We need to stop this thing, whatever it is. We need to root out whatever the cause of this is, whoever is amongst us that's been a thorn in our sides and causing these issues. We need to root that out. And we think you all would be very well suited for that. You've proven yourselves greatly with everything else that's happened here in Saltmarsh. And Galen kind of steps forward. Ida, please, just to try to lighten the mood a little here, I believe we all owe you some rewards for what you've done. Right? Looks around the rest of the council, and Monostrad gives a nod. Hell yeah, they definitely deserve a good reward after what they done. And Anders gives a nod, and yeah, yeah, good idea, Galen. Galen kind of turns to the rest of you. So, for everything that you've done for Saltmarsh, it truly was quite spectacular. We've managed to collect much of our resources here, and we would like to award your group 15,000 gold pieces for everything that you've done. And he kind of gestures over as Ida grabs a small chest and lifts it up onto the desk. You can hear the coin clink within. You've also really gone above and beyond what was expected, so we have a few more things for you. I don't know who exactly would like to take these within your group, so we're going to defer and give them to... Well, the captain seems to have left the room, so I don't... We were
The
going
captain is right here, Captain Aspen.
Right, okay, sure. Whatever you say. And he turns and leans over and grabs... Ida hands him something from the desk, and he holds up a necklace. This necklace has all of these beads that sort of seem to be like abstract representations of like elements, like water, air, fire, earth. But they're all very like geometric and runic in their design as they go all the way down. And he holds this necklace up and says, well, we are a bit remiss to be parting with this, but I think you deserve it. This is a necklace of adaptation, and then passes it to you, Aspen. So that is a Necklace of Adaptation. You can cast the Alter Self spell with it while wearing that necklace. I don't know the full details. I'll have to look it up. But
Okay.
we also have these, and he holds up these beautiful bracers. These bracers were provided to us by one of our finest in Saltmarsh, and they give a one who is not skilled with the bow the ability to use them, and those that are skilled with the bow, it greatly enhances their ability. These are bracers of archery for those that may be interested, and places it down on the table. And we also have this here, and he whips out a small emerald pen, a beautiful emerald pen. This is a from my personal collection. Do I really have to? Yes, Galen, as Ida nods to him.
Chinyar will like walk up as he's holding it, and she will take the pen from him. Oh, how beautiful! And then she'll hand it over to Aspen as he's talking.
It's a wonderful pen. You can write messages with it, and you can make them indecipherable to those that you wish not to read it. You can cast illusory script with this pen as you write with it, and it produces its own ink, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, no ink required.
The finest from your collection.
How generous of you, Galen.
I just smile at him.
You're welcome. And then Ida kind of stands up from the table. And I would like to give you this as a special thanks. This has been with my family for a very, very long time. She reaches up to a little necklace that she's been wearing, kind of pulls it out from under her shirt, revealing, dangling from it, this really beautiful, intricate little necklace of a silver raven. And she unclips it and hands it to you, Aspen. This little figurine here, if you so wish, you can say the proper command words and it will transform into an actual raven that can deliver messages for you. I've found it to be quite useful in a pinch when trying to get messages to important figures, but I would like you to have it. This is a silver raven figurine of wondrous power.
So Chinyar will say very, very quietly, like under her breath, that only Aspen can hear.
Mm-hmm.
How fortuitous.
So,
I'll smile at that, and I look to Ayuze. Just kind of like they're handing it to me, and I'm like handing it back to Ayuze. So just like, yep, here, we'll deal with that later.
all right. Yeah, so I can give you the specifics on all that later, or you can look it up. But those
It's
are
all recorded. Archive has taken care of it.
Yes, I most certainly have.
With that, Ida sits back down. Again, thank you. It truly was quite a spectacular victory, despite the loss of Eleander. All of the Sahuagin forces were routed, and it appears their entire leadership crumbled. No thanks to you. We owe you a great debt. And on top of this reward here, we are willing to offer you a favor at some point, should you need one. Within reason, of course, we would have to discuss it, but we would be willing to help you in whatever comes next. No strings attached.
Well, actually, now that you mention it, we do need a boatswain. If you have anyone in mind that can fix our ship for us and come on as a crew member, that would be lovely.
Yeah.
You didn't just waste your you on a boatswain.
Is it boatswan or? I
Suppose
don't know.
I don't know.
Boatswain.
Repair.
Boatswain would be the term.
Boatswain. Okay.
Boatswain. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I do have somebody in mind.
Which one of these? Sorry,
That's fine.
but do I happen to know which one of them is? I think. Which one of them is associated nobility? I think Anders is.
Associated with nobility.
Yeah, or nobles, because I know that Ida and Oleander were the two who were pro princes.
Lord's Alliance.
Lord-
So the Lord's Alliance members were Eleander and Monastrad Copperlocks. They were they actually came from outside of Saltmarsh. Ida Oland has been in Saltmarsh forever, and she's not really nobility, but essentially holds that status within Saltmarsh. Galen as well has been in Saltmarsh for quite a long time and is a very powerful merchant, not a noble, but again holds that kind of noble status. And then Anders as well is just a well-loved family within Saltmarsh, and their family's been there for generations. So like that's the closest they would come to nobility, but there are no real like true nobles within Saltmarsh. It's all essentially either powerful merchant families or fisher families. So like Ida Oland's family is a huge fisher family.
I got it. I thought Ida and Oleander were the Lord's Alliance.
Oh no, yeah.
It's Ida and Monastrad.
No, Monastrad and Eleander are pro Lord's Alliance.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
right, not Ida.
Ida is traditionalist. Yeah,
Okay, got it.
yeah.
Take out-
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll take out the silver signet ring we found in the Sagin lair, depicting 3 jagged peaks against a dark blue sky.
Okay.
You wouldn't happen to be familiar with this. Heraldry, well, local heraldry is not my forte. I was just curious.
Yeah, you hold it up towards the group, and Ida kind of furrows her brow and goes, I recognize that. That's the sigil of Thornhold. That belongs to. Let me find it. That's the symbol for the city of Thornhold. That's been that way for generations. I would suspect that used to belong to one of the family members of the original folk that started Thornhold.
Good.
Where did you find that?
In the Sagin's treasure chamber.
Ah, the Thornwell family. Ha, wouldn't you know it? Thornwells, of course.
The Thornwells of Thornhold.
Correct.
All right. I imagine they probably want it back.
Most likely, although I'm sure that they can afford a new one.
Well, I'm sure there's a story attached to this. I'm more interested in knowing the story myself.
That is fair. As for a boatswan, we can't really provide you with one per se, as all of them are spoken for, but we could offer you one for your repairs without being charged. We can go and speak with Jalar. If you would go speak with Jalar Kankelsten. Kankelsten? That's, sorry, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it. It's a gnomish name. Jalar has been around for quite some time within Saltmarsh. He runs the Carpenters Guild Hall, and he is an expert craftsman and carpenter. So he can help muster up your repairs free of charge.
That would be most appreciated.
with your...
Repairs are quite expensive, and our ship took a considerable amount of damage. I'm sure, Captain and Number One, this will work out better for us and the other council.
Just here, and she writes up a quick little message on a piece of parchment and passes it over to you all. You can give him this, and that will ensure... give her this, and that will ensure that she will see to the repairs, free of charge. Just, she may be a little cranky about it, but show her that parchment. She'll get over it. Yeah. Anything else here as you're with the council? Do any of you all have anything else you want to talk with them about?
And what of Tharizdun?
What of Tharizdun? Did you not stomp out whatever remained of them in that Sahuagin fortress? We got a little bit of the story from Galen here, but not much.
We slew the Avatar, but the priestess did escape, and we don't know the connection. I feel like this story is not ended. So thus, if I'm correct, neither is the threat.
I'm afraid it's gonna fall on you to follow up those leads. We're going to be very much focused here on Saltmarsh. Again, we'll try our best to provide any aid we can, but the immediate threat to the town has been dealt with, so we need to go back to focusing on what is best for Saltmarsh. I understand that Tharizdun is an existential threat, to be sure, but if that priestess was part of this Sahuagin group, they seem to have been scattered to the wind, so the threat seems a bit lessened, to be sure.
This is fine if you do not have information, something that I can pursue. I'll walk over to the table, or I don't know, unless Aspen's just holding a bunch of magic items, like with two hands. Like
Oh no, I'm passing them along. I'm not even holding them. They're like touching my hand just barely, and I'm just like giving them to Aize.
Oh, he's gonna walk over to the gauntlets of archery.
Okay.
I pick them up and I look at the group. When Rin returns, I believe she deserves this.
Oh yes, that nice elven girl.
Might I make a suggestion?
Of course.
Just out of the blue. I don't disagree. I just think maybe we should take this somewhere else and discuss it. If you know what I mean.
That would be wise.
Yeah, I think we should go back to the Diora. Let's go get it repaired first.
We
Let
can do
them work
both.
on it.
I'm thinking that maybe we could all use a drink, except for him. And
Did Shifty come back? I'm sorry.
I don't...
Nope, Shifty's left.
I think Shifty left, yeah.
Oh, Shifty left? All right. Yeah, I think we could all use a drink.
I think when you guys go outside, I'll be like sitting on like some bench, like passed out.
Okay. Well, before you all
we can,
leave...
have a discussion.
Before you all
No
leave...
offense to the council members, but I imagine you're all busy people. And we are completely and utterly grateful for the rewards you have given us.
Well, as I said, we owe you a lot. But before you leave, truly, if you can look into who may have been behind Eliander's assassination, we are afraid that the fact that they got to him, that none of us are safe. We're going to be holding somewhat of an election here, trying to fill this next empty spot that has been left by Eliander. We haven't had much of a discussion, but there's been a few names thrown out there, but we need to discuss it further before we make any decisions.
Have you increased security on the rest of the council?
Well, the soldiers are all arriving back today, so as soon as they arrive and get their rest, then yes. Everything's been moving very fast.
Well, then I suggest they double lock their doors tonight.
Noted.
Any names in particular?
Well, and Anders is kind of sitting there nervously. He kind of like leans forward. I threw one out there. It's kind of I know it's kind of a out of the blue crazy suggestion, and I completely understand why Ida is being hesitant. And in fact, I would only suggest it as an interim filling of the spot, not a permanent filling of the spot. But this is so wild. Okay, I'm sorry. Volric, you know how my father's been out of the picture since before I was born, and it was just me and my mom for a little bit before she passed. My dad's sister reached out to me about a 10-day ago. She sent me a letter. She says she's going to be coming here at some point soon. She didn't give us exact date as she's traveling from Cormyr, so, you know, who knows exactly when, but she wanted to reconnect, and she was close with Eleander. She actually fought with him in that final battle with Umberlee's tyrants. So I don't know. I just thought maybe we could talk with her when she gets here and see. She's retired, sellsword like all of you, right? So.
What's your aunt's name?
My aunt's name? Oh, Constance. I've never met her, so I know it's kind of. We would have to vet her, of course. We'd have to talk with her and sit down with her, but I don't know. She seems like maybe a good fit. She was new Eleander. She was a adventurer like all of you, so I just threw it out there. But I understand the hesitation from Ida. No, Anders, I know. I've heard of Constance as well. I don't know how the town will take it, having another person from the outside being put on the council so soon. They may not be so welcoming to that idea, but her name does hold some weight. So I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, I know. And I know I haven't been on the council as long as all of you, but it just came up.
So to be clear, going back to something I said earlier,
Yeah.
you will have heightened security when the army arrives.
Yes.
Then Anders, tonight, I would like to offer that I stay at your home to ensure of your safety.
Thank you,
What a great
Ulrich.
Ulrich.
Thank you. I would appreciate that. I would love to hear the stories. Sounds like you died.
Yes, again.
Right. Again.
I'm back with a purpose.
Right. Okay. Wow. It's remarkable. Well, anyways, I just think we should consider it. I know that there's been a lot of mistrust around here, and I know she's not from here, but maybe that's a good thing. She doesn't have all the messy connections with the political drama that's going on here and the assassins and the Zentarum, so just something to consider. She sounds like she'll be arriving within the 10-day, so we'll see.
Well, our party lost two mighty warriors with Sethreth Bloodtongue and Rin Swiftbow, so no doubt we could use the muscle.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. To be clear, for her to be on the council, not part of your group, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. To replace Eleander's position. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that's my pitch. Thank you, Anders. Yes, we'll consider it, and we will also consider anyone else that may be suitable for the position. Thank you all. What would you all like to do? Yeah.
I have a question. Is Clark still
Crag.
in the council room? Or Crag, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is he still in the council room?
Yeah, he is actually. He didn't get dismissed. Yeah. So he's just been in the corner, kind of like holding himself, just listening in on all this.
I would like to walk over to him.
Okay.
I guess this will be someone like I've known in passing. Like I know about him.
Yeah, so Crag, he is the gravekeeper for the cemetery of Saltmarsh. Yeah, so you would definitely know of him, but it sounds like you maybe haven't really developed a relationship with him, so you just know of him.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of just sit in front of him for a second, trying to get his attention.
He sees you and looks at you, acknowledges your presence.
I hold my hand out, like a hand out to him. I just want to say I'm sorry for your loss. And I'm sorry about what my friend said earlier. He is also having a hard time.
It's quite all right. I took no offense to it. It's okay.
Well, I just want you to know that when it comes to myself and my party, we're going to stop at nothing to find out who did this to Eleander. You have my word.
Thanks.
Okay?
I appreciate it. Maybe you all could swing by our place, and I think there's something Eleander would have wanted you all to have. If you don't mind later swinging by.
Of course. And if you ever feel lonely, I mean, I don't. When I'm in the empty net, and if you ever feel lonely, you can come by anytime.
That's not really my type of place. But thanks.
Yeah, no problem. We will swing by later.
All right.
And I will nod and walk back over to Shinyar and Aize.
Okay.
And I just I kind of whisper, but it's like that angry whisper when you want to shout, but you can't. I'm just like, we need to find Shifty right now.
As you say that, under your breath, leaving the room and pushing out. Unless all of you, are you good? You leave the council.
I want to just say to Aspen as everybody starts to leave,
Yeah.
right, as everybody's starting to rise to go,
Mhm.
she's going to grab her hand and she's going to say, I have to watch Anders. I'll meet up with you at the empty net. Right? Empty net?
Empty net, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
She's
We'll
going
be
to push
there.
into the crowd.
Well, actually, no. I think we might be at the Diora. We might be going to the Diora. I know Aiza said we need to talk. So
I'll look for you guys once I get done. And she's going to kind of push with the rest of the crowd, kind of leave, and then she's going to find a way that she's kind of getting lost in the crowd, and then she's going to cast invisibility and she's going to follow Anders.
Okay, yeah. So it's a relatively private council meeting, but you go out with your group, and as you get out into the front of the council hall, it is getting quite busy because all of the soldiers are disembarking on the ships, and there's now these big droves of smugglers and soldiers coming off the boats, some of them injured. So you can easily kind of separate yourself from your group, fall in with one of the groups of soldiers that are moving in. In fact, I'd say you could even go in with, you see other healers that are working with this group that are coming off the boat. And in that moment, you can easily disappear and turn invisible as you turn to go and look back at the council hall. As Chenyar does that and the rest of you disembark, are you all going to the Diora?
I think so.
The idea? Okay.
I was just suggesting that.
Yeah.
I was just suggesting. Oh.
No, you're good. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just suggesting the inn because the Diora is in a bad way and maybe we need to have it repaired. But we can see to that later on this day.
Okay.
I figured maybe you would want an account of the treasure the quartermaster has assembled and also suggestions for the crew bonuses.
Cool. So
And I
you
thought that maybe that would be something that we should all discuss together, as we did most of the heavy lifting down in the Salgin lair.
okay.
But I do not see Shinyar or Shifty.
So as the
Oh.
three of you are on the Diora, realizing two of your companions are missing, I think it is 7:30, so I think we should go to break. As the three of you stand there deciding what to do, Chenyar invisibly staking out the council hall, waiting to see what Anders does, and Shifty off in Saltmarsh somewhere, resting on a bench with the hat pulled down. Is that what you were doing, Shifty? I believe that's what you were doing.
Yeah, but I thought actually I was just waiting outside the council.
Okay, cool. Then we'll resolve that when we get back from break. Thanks, everybody. We'll be right back as we take a quick little break here, and we will see you soon. Bye. Hi, welcome back. We're gonna jump right back into the show here and see what happens next. A little tiny bit of retconning here. So Shifty was passed out just outside as the party was leaving, and with a quick little jostle, Shifty is jostled awake. I don't know who wants to do the waking up of Shifty. Ulrich, Aize, Aspen.
Aspen would definitely shake him awake.
Okay. So
But she
Neville's dead.
she bends down and picks him up and kind of like sits him on her shoulders.
okay.
Because having him walk however far to the harbor and he's staggering is gonna only piss her off more.
Okay. So with Shifty on your shoulders, you all head up to the deck of the Diora, and then standing on the deck of the Diora, or let's say you all head into the captain's quarters to get out of the air. Yeah, you all realize that Chenyar is not there with you, so it's just the four of you there in the captain's quarters.
Diora, as you're, Aspen, as you were carrying me, you hear me like having some kind of like dream or something like that, and I just like, when you tried to shake me away, I was like, Neville's dead. And then as you pick me up, I would say, never find me. Neville's dead. Never again.
I'll keep that in my mind for safekeeping. We're gonna come back to that. Okay. But I kind of like just usher everyone in. I sit Shifty on his bed. And I don't, is being drunk considered like poisoned?
Pretty much, yeah.
I will use my celestial legacy.
Your celestial legacy?
Yeah, I will use my celestial legacy to cast lesser restoration on Shifty to remove that poison condition.
Shifty, immediately you feel the headache and the nausea just leave your body, and you are suddenly, albeit maybe a little tired, but like you are
like on speed suddenly.
No, just your hangover is entirely just it's like you've been shot full of saline. Just suddenly feel great. You're like, wow. Your body is suddenly fresh.
I wonder if they'll make a song about that one.
I just stare at Shifty, and I think this is the first time Shifty would ever see Aspen like really mad, because this is his best friend, and he knows that I don't get mad about a lot of things. But seeing the way he acted today was like, it really pissed her off.
Okay.
And I'll just sit like on the desk. Oh, actually, I looked to Aize. Do you need this right now? Can I sit here? You don't have anything to put on the desk, do you?
Aize.
Do you need the desk space, or can I just use this as my chair?
Oh, go ahead.
I kind of like sit on the desk.
Consulting archive and looking up, delving into information on these items. Just an FYI, the necklace of adaptation does require the attunement of the wearer, but the statuette and the pen do not. The bracers. Actually, do I need an Arcana roll for this?
No, it's okay. I'm gonna give these ones to you for the sake of the narrative. Yeah, the bracers as well require attunement.
The bracers do require attunement. I actually had an agenda. It's unfortunate that Chenyar isn't here to share it with us.
She'll meet us later. She had to step away for a moment.
Very well. The accounts. First and foremost, 1,787 gold pieces and 5 silver. Goes to each of us. 1787. 5 silver. So that's the first order of business.
Was
The
that
Diora.
was that including the 15,000 gold that was given? Okay, cool.
Oh, wait a minute. Council payment was 15,000. I thought it was 1,500.
No,
No,
15,000. Your eyes.
Just add
I
another
think it
zero.
was, that was disbelief on my part, so I erased the 0. Correction.
Aize's pack is just filled with gold. He's like, okay, everybody buy.
That's why. That's why I had to double check because I was like, now hold on a
I'm
minute.
sorry to tell you all that I'm going back to Termish. Take your 1,500 each. The split is as follows: 4,037 gold pieces and 5 silver each. 4,037 and 5 silver. So the Diora receives an equal share of that as well. So our total in the ship's funds. One moment. Doing some maths. 4037.5.
With those kind of funds, we could actually buy a new gunboat. Wow.
Diora's total funds come to 4,452 gold pieces and 5 silver pieces. The upkeep for this ship is 285 gold pieces a month. Therefore, I think we can afford to give the crew a bonus. I was going to recommend.
I'm sorry, I was gonna ask, what do you suggest that you'd say?
I was going to recommend an extra 20 gold pieces each, but that was before the 0 got added. Most of our crewmen have never seen this kind of money before. They're poor folk for the most part.
We might never see them again.
Average, each one of them makes 5 silver pieces per day, which works out to 30, 150, 15 gold pieces a month is what we pay them, and that's quite good wages. I'd recommend 50 gold pieces each.
And will we take that out of the ship fund?
That'll come out of the ship fund.
Well, then, whatever you suggest, I stand behind.
All right.
I look to Volric.
Are we all in agreement?
This is fine. If I had my others, I would suggest that we also improve the armor and armaments of our men, because sometime they will be needed to fight.
We might use the money in that way instead of giving it to them, where they just I'm not sure if we'll see all of them again.
I can tell that you do not understand how to motivate people, Shifty. Certainly the wiser course would be to give them better equipment, but giving them payment for their work and bonuses when we are flush is a good way to raise morale.
Of course.
Also, if we are looking for a
The boatswain.
boatswain, word will get around that we are generous to those who work with us, and it will improve our chances of finding a good one.
And that's why you have the position you have.
Well, someone has to keep the books. That's it for cash. I suppose when we go back on deck, we can announce it to the ship. Either number 1 or the captain appropriately can inform them. Ship's duties. So far we have Captain Aspen, First Mate Volric, Boatswain Repair Nobody, Quartermaster, myself. Shifty, you want to be the cook?
Yes.
All right. I thought you'd be more interested in being the weapons master, seeing as how your fascination with cannons. But
I don't
fair
have
enough.
cannons. It's just we
And
do-
you are recommending Oceanus as the boatswain weapons master?
Yes, he has. He has the size to be able to complete that job
Anyone else?
and the skill.
Any objections to Oceanus as the ship's weapons master? Captain?
No, none at all.
Number one?
I'm with this.
Very well. We shall inform Oceanus that he is now weapons master. This actually makes a difference in the books because as professional crew, he is paid not 5 silver pieces a day, but 2 gold pieces a day. In future, if you have recommendations for members of the crew to be promoted on that level, please run them by me so I can at least keep the accounts. We are also missing a siege specialist.
We need
And
some
that's
people
it.
first. But I think we can get them now. No.
That is it for the ship's business as far as the money. Don't spend it all in one place.
If that's the case, I have 3 questions. Only one needs to be answered. The first one, and I'll pick up the bracers again. I suggest we lock this up in the Diora for Rin's return. She did much before she left.
I have no
Leave it.
objection because she was the one more. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Aspen.
No. After you.
I have no objection, if only because she is the one person who would benefit the most from that. She is an archer without peer. So I say yes.
Could I use them while she's away? I seem to miss a lot of my shots whenever I use my bow.
I have no problem with this. So my next question, again, the first was the only one that needed to be answered. But from my understanding, so Shifty, you somehow blame yourself for my or Eliander's death. Is this correct?
It was under my command when it happened. I
So
didn't take good direction.
help me understand what you could have done. What decision could have been made that Eliander might be alive? How do you have any control over that? Likewise, you are not his leader, his captain.
Well, Leander, I can't. It's more what happened with our crew.
I'm the only one that died.
Yes, but I don't seem to be. It made me just. I can feel it changing me. I want to. I need to be quiet now. As I told you, Galen, I kind of stepped over a line and he survived, so I need to keep a low profile now, I think.
So you do not wish to answer the question as to why you think you're responsible for my death.
Well, and you see him shift back to his old style. Like, this is the way it works, huh? It's the way it works. I'm not fit to be a captain. I don't have the leadership qualities that you possess, and Aspen. I don't have the respect of the whole crew. If I say something, it's usually not even heard. And I can't be the one that, in the confusion of a battle, ends up having people fall. So I prefer to have it go to somebody like Aspen, so that we can, do the thing.
Right. Since you opened up this conversation, he's stepping down as captain, which again, to me, was separate from what was happening inside the Salwagon Fortress. What decision did you make as captain, except for to transport from one location to another? What failure could you possibly have done? We went to the island. We went to the temple. We won the war. Help me understand this.
As a leader, I have to make sure everybody comes back okay too.
No, you
That's
don't.
Captain, you're all part of the crew.
when you step off that boat, you're my ally, not my captain. And again, there's nothing you could have done. Warriors die in battle. That's how it works. I died because of what I did. I held the line. I chose to turn and take the Salwagan that were threatening my friends. I knew what would come down. There's nothing you could have done.
In the back. I thought
There's
it was
nothing you
not
could
a
have
good
done.
idea, but
Well, I don't see how that affects you as captain, but at least I understand. And the other question I have is, just from my understanding, Aspen and Shifty, what information, why did you think Galen may be guilty for the murder? Because this feels like this is our next line.
I'd like to send a sorry.
Go ahead. What do you say?
I'll send a telepathic message to Aspen and said, I know that part of our agreement was that you're going to share with me the business with Salazar and the actual mission and Galen stuff. But I just wanted to know if it's okay with you if we share it here and now. I would like Bulwark to know.
Oh, yes. It's okay with me.
All right. Then I will tell them. So after it was apparent that Galen wanted you dead, Shifty, Aspen and I conspired to assassinate him by denying him water breathing spell. I didn't put it on him.
For me?
And then, well, mostly for Aspen. But but anyhow, he survived. Oleander decided to leave him behind, so he didn't get an opportunity to drown. But the good news is he doesn't know that we tried to murder him.
Did anybody
Part of the bargain that was made between myself and Aspen, or understanding, I shouldn't say bargain, was that you were going to share with us the details behind what was actually going on when we jumped on Salazar's ship. Because that would give all of us more insights into the kind of person that Galen is. Aspen, if you please.
I just look at Shifty for a moment.
Sure.
When we first met, Shifty and I, as you know, we had a separate objective. We were to destroy some barrels on Salazar's ship for Galen. And when the battle was done and all the smoke cleared and Volra came downstairs to ask what we were doing, we lied because we were told not to tell you. But it kind of seems that we are walking on a very thin line right now. Salazar, I didn't plan on killing Salazar. I said something. I said Galen's name in his ear and knew that if he had told someone else that could have been very bad for not just myself and Shifty, but some other people that we are associated with in the smuggling trade, I guess you can say. And I couldn't allow that. So he had to die. And that is pretty much what happened the first night we met.
What was the deal with the barrels?
They were oh man, fuck. They weren't supposed to come and land, or else the Lords. It was something to do with the Lords Alliance, and they wanted. I forgot. Shifty, do you remember?
Actually, I'm looking at you kind of curiously, because I never imagined you killing somebody for to do something like that. You seemed angry when you did it. I rolled an insight of nat 20.
What is it at 20?
What would that what would that tell me about your actual if you were telling the truth or not about that part of you did it for Galen because you mentioned somebody mentioned Galen.
Yeah, I killed him because I was the one that mentioned Galen's name. And I wasn't gonna have that connecting back to myself or you or Larissa
So,
or anybody on this
just
ship.
just to give you some
So I
clarification,
completely trust you. Okay.
on the first task, the first mission that was given to both you and Shifty, there were barrels of scotch aboard that smuggler's vessel that were from Galen. And Galen was doing business with those smugglers. So he did not want it to be revealed that he was doing business with those smugglers, is why he asked, well, why Larissa asked you, Shifty, to destroy those barrels, but you specifically, Aspen, were asked by Galen to destroy them, make sure those barrels, the evidence of those barrels disappeared.
It's a bad look when the Salt Marsh Council sends us to hunt down some smugglers, and it turns out that Galen is doing business with the smugglers. That makes sense.
That's why I also thought that well he knows people, Galen. That's why I went to him first. He's through and through. He made it look like he wears fancy clothes, but he's no different than any other person that grew up in the streets. He's sneaky. He's a cutthroat.
That being said, it was very apparent that Galen wasn't the one who gave the order or had anything to do with Oleander's assassination.
Are you sure? It was only him who said he was there the whole time.
Yes, but I didn't probe him directly, but I sensed his surface thoughts. He was just as surprised. Not saying that he isn't a trash, but
That is peculiar.
if anyone
Then whoever tries to take the council, then
the voice of the devil child. I think this will bring us some more illumination.
I just want to clarify a few things. I just want you guys to know that I did not know anything about this in advance. So technically, I can't take the blame for this. But I think that wyvern poison that killed Eleander, I think I might be responsible for it technically. Okay, so Aiza, you know how I got you that super cool spell that we bonded over and we copied down into your wizard, spell book.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
that spell came with a price. I had to make a deal, a favor, whatever you want to call it, with Keladak, the town wizard. And he told me to go to the empty net. And I'm really not supposed to tell any of you this. So if we can keep this between us, the four of us.
you haven't told me yet. I would like siblings.
Larissa has a room below the empty net where she brings in smuggled goods. Keladak, the first time I went to him to get the water breathing potions, he made me carry this familiar with me, his familiar, I guess, who scoped out the room. And then the second time, he, I went back to get another spell or some spell scrolls, and he had me get him wyvern poison, and that's the last that I know of it. I gave him the poison. And he said I had to go on a date with him as basically a favor or something like that. And yeah, so technically, I don't know if it's the same wyvern poison, but I didn't have anything to do with this. I just want to make, absolve myself of any crime or wrongdoing.
Of course, of course.
A rough start for a captain, you know.
You're the
I
last
just look at
I want to hear
Shifty.
that from. DM.
I was trying to help.
I just made a nature roll. How rare? Just on. Is it nature for wyvern poison?
That works, yeah.
How rare is it?
It is. It's pretty rare, mainly because it's very difficult to extract the venom from a wyvern. Yeah, it's pretty rare. It's also very expensive, like, to acquire it, and illegal. It is something that is outlawed up and down the Sword Coast. So really, wyvern poison is something that only is sold in black markets. So,
one question: Is this familiar normal?
Every time I want to say he's always invisible. I don't remember what he
So
looks
you've never
like.
seen it. Okay.
No, he just sits on sits on my shoulder and tucks my ear off. I mean, I have not seen him. I believe, right? I think that's right, Nathan?
Why would Keladak want Oleander dead?
Maybe it's
That's a
somebody.
good question.
That makes him number one lead.
He could just be one of the links to somebody else. You know, maybe he owed a favor and he needed something, and that person asked for poison. We need to know
Seems
who
like-
associates with this Coriander.
He seems like someone powerful enough that he would not owe too many favors.
No, he seems like the sort of person that collects favors. He doesn't owe them.
Yeah.
And he's a wizard, not a. Well, actually, I don't know that.
Oh no, I told you he's a wizard. A
was
very powerful one.
The work done on Oleander was definitely by a professional assassin. I don't know if Keladak, or I don't know if Keladak is one.
Well, there are ways we could approach this. We could be direct, or we could try other methods. But it feels to me like Kaladek is where we need to go next.
Yes, and I think perhaps the first course of action would be to collect information on him.
Yes.
Well, I still have to go on a date with him, and I'm really not looking forward to it.
There you go. I guess that could be a great time to get information.
I think on that note, as Aspen says that, and there's a hearty laughter that goes throughout the cabin. I know, Aize, you had a few more things on your agenda. Those may have to happen outside of stream, but I would like to cut away to Chenyar so that we can split our time here. And that feels like an appropriate moment as the laughter fills the room of the cabin, and you continue to discuss what is to happen next. We cut away to the busy dockside area in front of the council hall with all of the soldiers and smugglers departing their boats after the great battle. And we do not see Chenyar, but Chenyar is somewhere amongst the crowd. Chenyar, what are you doing in this moment? So you're standing outside of the council hall with all of these people moving around you.
I'm going to get into earshot of Anders and listen and hear conversations going on. I'm going to be trailing him, and I am going to make a point to duck, and be close enough to hear what he's saying to people.
Okay.
As he's moving through the streets. I will not rely 100% on my invisibility. I will still try to blend in case somebody does have see invisibility into the crowd but I will continue to monitor him as best of my ability and follow him back to wherever he's going.
Okay. So awesome. So for this right now you're outside of the council hall, and you know that Anders is inside. So there's the big double doors with those 2 guards standing there. And inside the council hall, there's the big, like, public, gathering space, and then you all were in the back in the offices, and that's where Eleander was last seen. Or, sorry, where Anders was last seen. Do you want to sneak into the council hall and go to where you last saw him and then trail him from there, or do you want to stake out?
Trail him.
Okay.
I'm going to trail him from there.
Okay.
If I feel like I can't get past the guards, or if I feel like it's like too tight of a space, I will use my Misty Step to get past any obstacles.
Okay, that will drop your invisibility, correct? Because you use a spell.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I will have to just rely on my ability to be stealthy.
Okay. The doors are closed, so that's your first obstacle, is how do you get through the doors?
So if I remember the council chambers, there's seating areas, correct?
Yeah, you were in. So there's the main council hall, which is not where you were, and then you went past that into the back, where there was essentially like a big long hallway and multiple offices, branching off, we'll say, the north side of the building. And Ida's room was in one of those north offices, and there would have been like, windows looking out to the back side of the building there where her office was. And that's where you had the meeting with Anders and everyone else.
Do I hear anything going on behind the doors?
Okay, so you approach up. Go ahead and make a stealth roll for me with advantage because you're invisible. And the DC for this is going to be very low because there's a lot of activity going on right now. So
I'll make my first roll.
You have advantage, so it's a straight roll if you have disadvantage.
I don't have disadvantage on my stealth.
Cool.
No, wait, I do have disadvantage. I'm sorry. I was rolling the wrong thing.
Yeah, you rolled sleight of hand. That's okay.
It's 15.
Yeah, same bonus, right?
Yeah. Same exact bonus.
Okay, yeah, easy enough. You creep up there, press your ear against the door, and right now you can hear on the other side some kind of like muffled talking in the main chamber. Go ahead and make a perception roll for me.
Okay.
Oh,
22.
What you hear on the other side at this moment, because you've more or less just left, you can hear what sounds like Galen, Ida, and Anders talking amongst themselves, the 3 of them, and they're seeming to kind of like wrap up a conversation. You're just catching the end of it. Anders is saying, yes, I just consider what I said. Once she gets here, would love if we could all meet and see what she's like. You said, Ida, that you'd heard of her. Is that right? Yes, Anders, I heard Eleander speak fondly of her, and they had some good stories, but I never met her personally. I believe I've heard 1 or 2 stories, but I really must be going. I'm going to go back and get ready for the great festivities after completing a great and wonderful victory. I plan to throw the biggest party that Saltmarsh has ever seen this evening. I guess you can come. And you hear him starting to walk towards the doors.
I will back away from the door, and I'll wait for him to open the door, knowing that he's coming right towards the door.
Yep. As you step away, the door opens up as Galen kind of flourishes out into the early morning light. He kind of squints for a moment, adjusts his eyes, and looks around and sees all these soldiers and takes a moment and goes, "Huh! You've all returned. I would like to invite all of you to my great estate, which you know is right there overlooking the harbor, and this evening will be the biggest festivities we've ever seen within Saltmarsh. I will have all of my finest scotch there, and it'll be great merriment. So, please, swing on by this evening." and the entire crowd just goes up in a big cheer. What are you doing, Chenyar? The door's still
I'm
open at the moment.
sneaking into that door. As soon as he opens the door and he starts doing his distraction and talking to the crowd, trying to get them to pay attention to him, right into that room.
Yeah, easy. You slip right in and are now in the kind of dimly lit council hall, really thin windows up in the rafters, a kind of peaked ceiling. And you can see right there as Anders is sort of like saying his goodbyes to Ida and is turning to also leave. And you do catch Ida kind of like rolling her eyes as Galen is like pontificating out in front of the crowd. But Anders seems to say his goodbyes, and he says, "All right, Ida. Well, Ida. All right, Ida. I'll see you around. I'm gonna head home. Check in with some business. I believe Scarron has just got back from a deal. Oh yes, if it went through. By the way, this is really good news. We may be having some fine mead coming in from Good Mead. We just set up a business deal, and hopefully it went through. So I'll let you know as soon as I go talk with Scarron about it. All right, you do that, Anders. Thank you." And they part ways as Anders starts to leave the council hall.
Okay, I'm gonna, back up a little space, let him open the door, right? And I'm going to trail him.
Okay, easy
Supposed to
enough.
follow him.
You trail him and start following him, going north of the council hall, going kind of through the main streets. You do catch as certain people recognize Anders and kind of pull him aside and give, like, he has little like small talk with the returning sailors. You very quickly start to get the sense that he is very well liked amongst the community and also is very adept at just like checking in with people, and he recognizes people by name and asks them about how they're doing and their families. Eventually though, he starts to go northward and the crowd thins out, and it is now just essentially you and Anders with like a handful of people, moving through the streets. I am going to need you to make another stealth check for me with
Sure.
advantage because you're invisible.
Okay. Okay, normal roll.
Yep, just a straight roll.
Sorry, it's like popping up to me to... 9.
Okay.
I stumbled over something, I guess.
Okay, you head north and eventually you come around a corner and start heading up a great big wide well-groomed path towards what looks to be a massive estate. There are it's a very wide kind of low building, like a home. And there's kind of a big grand entryway, and then off to either side there are these larger structures that kind of extend up a little bit above the entryway. And you can see other smaller buildings kind of off to the sides where there appear to be folks that are kind of tending to like small warehouses that are off to the sides. But Anders goes straight up to the door, and you kind of inadvertently kick up some of the loose gravel as you're walking that kind of cascades down behind you, and Anders just sort of stops for a moment and just turns and like looks straight at you.
I don't move. Keep very still.
Hello? Okay. And he keeps going straight up to the door. Do you continue to follow as he goes into his home?
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna need you to make one more stealth check for me as you're trying to follow into his house. He's definitely like seems a little spooked by the sound.
18.
Okay. He sort of picks up his pace, but you manage to stick right behind him, and he goes straight up through the front door and opens it quickly, and you're able to slip in just before he closes it. And he closes it, he kind of like peeks up and looks through the stained glass window that's built into the front of this door, kind of looking outside. and you suddenly hear a voice go, "Oh, hello, sir." And he kind of goes, "Oh, ha." Scarin. Oh, you scared. You really startled me. I'm a little on edge. I told you what happened last night. I'm just. And you can see that standing there, kind of at the bottom of the stairs, seeming to have been en route to going towards like a kitchen or something. There is an older gentleman, probably in his like late 50s or so, with this silver hair, very thin. Let me find exact description here. Very tall, lean, tan skin, short silver hair, and he's wearing this simple button-up white shirt with a black vest and pants, and over that he has a very simple but elegant black coat, and he's kind of standing very properly, and sort of smiles as Anders goes to approach him. Scarin, so I know we only got to talk briefly last night, and you did say that things went well. Is that right with the deal?
Yes, sir. They went quite well. I just returned, as you know, and had a wonderful meeting with the fellow folk from Goodmead, and they've agreed to start sending us shipments here to Saltmarsh. They will be coming through Neverwinter to their port, and then our ships will be there ready to pick them up and bring it straight down here within a day. Well, the actual shipments will be coming in quite some time, but it went remarkably, sir. Quite a good eye for business you have there, son.
Well, you were the one that, pointed me in the right direction. You had those great business connections with those people, with all your time with the family.
Can I do an insight check on the old man to kind of get a read on him if he seems like he is manipulated kind of individual?
Sure, make an insight check.
Insight. They don't know I'm there. Oh, 25.
Wow.
Wow. Expecting that kind of roll.
Yeah. Wow. You study this individual very closely as he's having this conversation with Anders, and he has this very warm, gentle smile, and he kind of gives Anders a little soft squeeze on his upper arm as Anders kind of smiles and nods, and then Anders sort of claps his hands and goes, "Well, I'm gonna go and grab a little bite to eat. I rushed out this morning to get to the council meeting."
Yes, of course. I have breakfast waiting for you in the dining area.
And as Anders scurries off to go get breakfast, you watch as that warm demeanor just fades into a cold, calculated look and just follows Anders. And he turns and quietly goes and walks in the other direction to go about his business. What do you do?
She's going to go follow Anders into the dining room area.
Okay.
And she's just going to observe quietly. And she's going to calculate how much time she has taken from the time she cast her spell. And if
How long
she
does it
needs
last?
to,
Yeah.
an hour.
Okay. It's only been 10 minutes.
Okay. So then she's going to quietly just watch and observe Anders and any other interactions that happen in this house. And then when it gets time to get that her spell is starting to fade, she'll make her way towards the door. She'll look out through the window and she will cast her Misty Step to get out of there. So she's going to spend some time just listening to see what else she can find out about this person. She may even actually trail him to some extent to see what he's doing.
Anders?
No, the other guy. The old man.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So you want to go with Anders first.
Yeah, Anders first.
Okay.
See if anybody else comes to talk to him. Just watch him casually. Make sure that I observe what he's doing.
Sure. Okay, so you don't have to make another stealth check for Anders because you'd already done that for him. So you go and follow him into the dining room. Watch as he greedily eats up his breakfast, and next to him are a big pile of parchments that he's looking over, and he kind of pushes the plate aside and starts pulling the parchments out and going through them. At a cursory glance, you can see these are all what appear to just be like a lengthy contract that was drafted up between this business and Goodmead to start delivering casks of mead down to Saltmarsh. And he kind of finishes that, and after about 15 minutes, so you've now been invisible for 25 minutes, after about 15 minutes, Scarin comes in, the old butler figure, and gathers the dishes, and, Anders sort of like gives him a nod of thanks, and Scarin starts to leave the room. Do you want to follow Scarin at this point, or continue to observe Anders as he finishes up the paperwork, starts putting things away?
No, I want to follow Scarin at this point.
Okay, so
I want to
you
just be quietly, for a distance from him, but I want to monitor what he's doing in the house. If there's any rooms that he's going into or doing from a distance, I'm gonna be watching him, and he won't know anybody's watching him.
Okay, make that stealth check for me.
Okay.
Just a straight roll.
Can I give myself guidance or no? Is that possible?
You
not-
can,
no, I can't.
but
I can't. I'm gonna
it's
be
concentration.
invisible.
Yeah, it would break your spell. Yeah.
Okay, so let me roll normal. As I'm walking through the house, I lose my footing, and I must have hit something.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it is that you're following Scarin up the stairs, up into the upper area. You can see him moving towards what appears to be like a bedroom, and there's a little table off to the side, and you just bump it, and a vase on the table goes and starts to wobble. Scarin, with lightning speed, grabs it and stops it before it crashes. And then he kind of turns and then looks straight at you, but you watch as the eyes continue to kind of scan over you. And he just stands there.
I don't move an inch. I stay completely still.
He continues to stand with his back to you. And then he continues to move towards the bedroom.
Okay.
What do you do?
What do I, as he opens the door to the bedroom, what do I see in the bedroom?
You see a messy bed, and he moves in, gathers up the bedding, gathers up some clothing, puts it in a big basket, lifts it, walks out of the bedroom, and starts walking straight towards you in the hallway.
I back up and let him continue to pass.
Mm-hmm.
But the bedroom that he went in, did that look like his quarters, or did that look like to me more of an upscale quarters?
It was like a master bedroom.
Okay. I will let him pass and again not move an inch.
Okay. He passes, goes down the stairs, and you hear him go down and hear a outside door open. What do you do?
I'm going to continue down the stairs. And
Okay.
you said the outside door that he opens?
Mhm.
Like, is it the front door, the one that I just came through? Or is it another?
So you want to see where he's going? Okay, so you kind of go down and look around the corner just in time to see him opening the door and leaving. And he went around a corner and is heading towards like kind of the what would be like the north side of the house, and is seeming to go outside, like out of a side door into the yard, with all of the like linens and clothing. What do you do?
I'm going to go back to Anders.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I get into Anders, where's Anders at?
Good question. I would like you to roll a perception check for me,
Okay.
because you lost track of him as he
Yes, I
finished
did.
up breakfast. Yeah, Chenyar is entirely alone at the moment, if people are asking in chat. Also, hi!
Hi. 25. So I know where Anders is.
Yes, easy enough. You hear some kind of movement upstairs, and if you go in that direction, you can see what it looks to be a small office. Or not small, it's actually relatively large, like an office with some bookshelves and a big hearth, like a small private library, and Anders is sitting at a desk that overlooks the town and is currently doing paperwork.
I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to find where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go into the room and
Into his room.
into his room.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, Anders, do not be startled. Shh, shh. And I'm going to become visible, and I'm going to go, shh, shh. You are in danger. Please come with me. You trust Volric? I am a friend of Volric's. You are in danger.
Make a persuasion roll for me with advantage.
Okay. Persuasion? Not my best. Next one. Okay, 16. I don't want to alarm you, but you must come with me now.
Can you at least tell me what this is about?
I will tell you once we leave this premise. Just, you are going to go visit Volric with me. And if anyone should ask, we're on our way to talk to Volric.
I'm so sorry. I literally just met you the other day. I don't know you. I don't know your relationship with Volric. I know you were with everyone else, and you did a great thing for the town, but this is really weird. And the fact you're here, Volric isn't here.
Do you agree that you did not know I was there?
I'm sorry?
Do you agree that you didn't know that I was there just now when I startled you?
Yes, I had no
If
idea.
I meant you harm, I could have harmed you. I'm trying to help you. Please understand that I think it's critical you come with me now. Please. I feel you are in danger.
I'll go with you if you tell me where we're going.
I'm bringing you to see Volric.
I need to know the location. I'm sorry, I don't know you.
Diora.
Okay.
The Diora. And you must come with me without talking to anyone else right now. And I take my holy symbol.
Is everyone in this house okay? I would like to warn
Everything is
Scarin
fine.
and the others.
You are the one that's in danger, no one else right now.
I would really feel better, though, if we could at least tell Scarin to leave and tell him to tell
No.
the others to leave.
You cannot. You want to keep them safe? Please come with me right now, and I will give you this holy symbol, and you can hold on to this if you wish, as a way of my giving you the one thing that I am attached to for my God.
He holds a hand out and kind of looks
She
at it.
gives him the holy symbol, and she said, "This is I am a cleric. Please, I ask you, please, a leap of faith and trust me."
Okay, all right. You hear a sudden soft knock at the door.
And she will go invisible again. She'll go like this, and she'll go invisible again.
Okay. He kind of looks around like, yes?
Sir, I was hoping to come in and gather up any, discarded dishes you may have left from the night before.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Come in. And the door opens, and you watch as Scarin the butler just walks in very calmly and goes about collecting errant dishes about, gathers the pile.
Would you mind coming with me, sir? I have a bit of business I need some help with outside.
I'm sorry, Scarin.
Are you all right, sir? You seem a bit distraught right now. Really, are you okay?
And he kind of approaches and places a gentle hand on his shoulder. I don't know, Scarin, to be honest. I think I need to go see Volric, though, at the Diora. I'm just really worried about everything that's been happening in town. So I'm gonna head there. I'll be all right, though. I'm gonna head there.
All right, as you wish. Would you like me to accompany you?
No. I'm quite all right.
Very well.
He turns and starts to leave the room and then kind of stops for just a moment. And you catch this, Chenyar. You catch his nostrils kind of, as he closes his eyes and gives a sniff. And then you catch just a slight smile creep across his face as he leaves the room. And Anders kind of nervously is like trying to figure out what to do. He looks about, goes over to his desk, and just kind of grabs a pile of papers and doesn't really know what to do with it, and is like, nope. And then just grabs a coat, puts it on. Okay, going to the Diora, and starts to leave the room.
Yeah. I'm going to trail him, and if he is attacked in any way, I am going to cast Inflict Wounds at one of my highest levels at anyone that goes to attack him. If I see that butler guy make an aggressive action against him, I will protect him.
Okay, no problem.
So I'm going to be invisible. I'm going to stay invisible, and I'm going to trail him until we can get out of the house and we're far enough away.
You trail Anders and leave the house, heading towards the Diora. Anders keeps looking over his shoulder, looking around. No one jumps out of the shadows and tries to attack him. You get all the way up to the docks, to the gangplank leading up to the Diora. He heads up and goes onto the deck and is kind of looking around as crew. There's a couple crew left that are just sort of talking amongst themselves. And he approaches them and goes, where's Volric? And they kind of point towards the captain's quarters. Okay, I'm gonna go see Volric now. And he kind of looking around and then turns and walks towards the captain's quarters. All of you inside, you are having this discussion about what to do next, maybe investigate Keladek, and you all hear a knock at the door, kind of a frantic tick, 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 tick.
Come in.
The door swings. The door swings up. I'm just a dolphin, ma'am. The door swings open. Sorry, I had to throw that out there.
It's a land shark.
Yeah. The door, very appropriate for Saltmarsh. The door swings open, and Anders, like, kind of nervously, you all see Anders Solmore, the young council member, come scurrying into the room, looking over you all, and looking about, like, seeing you, Volric, and goes, where's Chenyar?
And I appear right next to him. Don't be startled.
Oh.
Oh, you scared me a little bit. What the? Okay.
Bye, everybody.
I'm going to instinctively step towards the doorway that you just came from and look past him because he seems obviously stressed out.
Okay, make a perception roll for me.
I will look to Shinyar. Is everything okay?
No.
Why were you in?
No.
What's going on?
Anders is in great danger.
How
I
do you?
think he may be the target next.
I will message her. Is this about the dream you had?
I believe so, but it is his butler. I watched intently as he roamed the house, and he makes a pretense to serve Anders.
Sorry,
But-
are you having this conversation out loud, or is this in the...
No.
Yeah,
This
This is
understood,
message.
understood.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
This is a message back and forth. But he is absolutely against him.
Can I make a perception test or insight?
Insight
Notice that there's this
on...
long moment of silence.
Yeah. Make an insight check. And Volric, as you kind of push past Anders and look outside, you scan, and all you see is the bustling docks with all of the returning
7.
sailors. And you Aize, I mean, I don't think you really pick up anything. You're just seeing if they're communicating with each other. I don't think you notice that. There is kind of like a little bit of an awkward tension, but you kind of read it as Anders is like nervously standing there waiting to see what's going to happen next as Volric is scanning outside. Anders seems to have his attention on Volric and goes, Volric, Chenyar told me, I'm so glad to see you. I don't know what was going to happen.
And she goes back over and takes her her holy symbol. If you don't mind, I'll take this back now that we're safe.
That's fine. Yes, of course. What's going on? Why Chenyar appeared out of nowhere like she just did in my room, in my office, and told me that I needed to come with her. I was skeptical, but you're here. What's going on? Why am I here?
I looked at Chenyar.
Your friend is in great danger, and I could not tell you inside your home, but your manservant.
I'm sorry. He's family.
I know that's what you believe, but it is not true. I watched him. I watched how he behaved after you left him.
What did he do?
He grimaced and had disdain for you. He is calculating.
Did he
He
poison
is
him?
not to be trusted. He presents himself one way to you, but he is the direct opposite. I had a very bad feeling, especially when he wanted you to go outside. I feel you are in danger, and I must warn you. Volric, your friend is in danger. This individual is not what they present themselves to be.
Well, then I wave my hand, and some runes kind of across in front of you, kind of distorting my image, and I turn into with my disguised self into Eleander. I'm not Eleander, into Anders.
Into Anders, okay.
Yes, and I say that perhaps we should return to his home.
Whoa, hold on. What?
well-
Wait. I'm sorry. This is, we're doing all of this based on you saw my trusted friend grimace and look disdainfully at me. I mean, that could be anything.
I would agree, Anders. I would not take any action unless there was a reason to. But I think I can copy you enough that they may believe it's actually Anders.
That is super weird to see that.
You know, you've been killed how many times now? 3?
Just two.
I'm dead. I'm dead. You got me.
But twice so far, and what you're doing right now is basically painting a great big target on yourself, pointing at Volric.
Well,
Let's not be too hasty. I mean, they're Anders. I mean, Vorik and Shinyar have the right intentions. After all, it seems it appears to be that all the council members have targets on their backs. You never know who could have it out for you. Even those closest to us can be the ones to stab us in the back.
I'll send it.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. I'll send a telepathic message to Volric, and then also pass one to Aspen and just say it doesn't make sense.
what does I will cantrip message back. What doesn't make sense?
It doesn't make sense. Anders is the neutral one. He wouldn't be the target. It would make more sense to take out one of the Lord's Alliance people again.
Well,
But
his sister is supposed to be coming. With him dead, who's to say it's not his sister?
that may be something.
His aunt.
Also, the butler has been serving their family for years.
Aunt.
So I say out loud, I say, Anders, just for tonight, I would suggest I return. We will see what happens.
Oh, wait, just...
I can watch his back if you want.
Yes.
Well,
Meanwhile, gone, you
that's-
stay on the ship.
Sure.
Hey,
Here's
hold
the
on.
thing. I need you all to, please. You were talking about someone who has been in my life. What you are implicating is huge. If
Would you rather
I
just
haven't
stab
had,
back
I
with the dagger?
have not had a true family in my life for a very long time. Scarin has been there since the beginning, and Scarin has helped me through so much. What you were saying,
How did you
you're
meet?
gonna have to
You're
give
right.
me more. How
And-
could Scarin? How could Scarin be the one trying to kill me?
Emotions distort your decisions. This is only a safeguard. This is only a check.
And perhaps you're right. Perhaps overnight nothing will happen. But let us keep you safe. It will do no harm for you to stay here and allow Volric to take your place tonight to ensure everything that you believe is actually true. That would be confirmation, perhaps, that maybe he is just sneering. Maybe he is not as hostile towards you as I saw.
I'm gonna need Volric and Chenyar to make persuasion rolls for me, or one of you with advantage.
Can I give him guidance and explain how I am giving him guidance?
Yeah, how do you give Volric guidance?
So I will explain and present to Anders that those that we trust and know for a very long time may not be who they are today. And the person you knew may be influenced by other outside forces. You do not have privy to all the things that have transpired over time, and you could not possibly know what he's feeling now. But I saw it when your back was turned. You must trust us. We're trying to protect you.
Besides, Anders, I rolled a 20. Well, actually, I
Some
rolled
guidance needed.
It's a dirty 20.
I was just about to have a very sincere and quiet moment where I was going to agree with Chenyar. But since you pointed out this mechanical thing, I will just agree. No, Anders does go. Okay, fine. Okay, that's fine. Yes, I'll stay here.
Tonight and the days moving forward is an opportunity to prove what is probably correct to be true.
All right. Yes.
At the very least, you should consider firing your butler.
I mean, I have a question
I'm-
for you, Vorik. How often are you willing to disguise yourself? I mean, knowing spells and how long they last, and are you going to do that all day, every day, until you can figure out what you need to figure out?
Elaborate.
I mean, I think a better solution is to have Anders here return home and invite us to stay with him as his guest. That way we are all together and
Well-
no one is apart. If that's something you
doubt.
think.
I doubt that. What was the guy's name again, DM?
Shinar.
Scared.
Scarin. I doubt Scarin will make his move while all of us are there. He's waiting
Exactly.
to move when he feels most safe to do that.
That was my thought exactly. And my answer to you, Captain.
I mean,
Or we could just brace the fellow and I could mind probe him.
We can
we can always do that.
we can certainly
uh,
keep him surrounded by guards until such time as we discover who the murderers are.
I can also cast Zone of Truth.
I mean, really.
It won't
wondering if the more
compel
direct method. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. It won't be as effective as Aize, because he may just decide not to speak at all.
To get him drunk.
Any number of things could have happened. The worst case scenario is that this is not the man that you knew, Anders, and he's been replaced.
We don't know this.
The best, or it could be just he's your typical disgruntled butler who puts on a front of support
But has always hated you.
and has always hated you. But who knows?
Wait a minute.
I
Anders,
still
didn't
think
you-
that it's very odd that we'd want to assassinate you tonight because he doesn't fit. Well, whatever.
Well, I think that there's very good points about the aunt, and no one would be able to possibly deny who this other individual is if it isn't your aunt. But I did hear that he made arrangements for that mead that you spoke about.
Yes, he was. He's been gone for I don't know, about half a 10-day or so. He went on my behalf. It was less than that, actually. He went on my behalf up to Neverwinter to finalize a business deal because I was so busy with everything going on with the war. So, yeah, he just returned. I believe it was last night. Yeah, that's right. It was last night. He returned late last night.
The
I mean, did he appear?
no,
What?
go ahead. Ask your question.
Did he appear different, like somehow? Something?
No. Okay. before we surround my friend, I know he has been our butler, but he is more than that. He's not a manservant. He's not a friend. Not a butler. He is a friend. He's a family member. Before we surround him with guards, before you mind probe him, before you do anything like that, I would like a bit more solid evidence against him. I understand it's very tense times right now, but you have to please understand that I've been living with this person my entire life. He is family. I know him, and what you were saying goes entirely against everything I know about him. So please try to approach this with a little bit of subtlety and please don't just pin him down and mind probe him. Please?
Yes, it requires a delicate touch. I do agree. And everyone should know that I believe he knew I was there. He came into Anders' room and asked for Anders to accompany him outside. And when Anders decided not to go with him, as he was leaving the room, he smelled my presence.
Smelled?
I was there.
The butler did.
Yes. Yes, he made it very clear that he knew I was there.
Did he have any pointed nose or kind of funny eyes?
What?
Sounds like.
Can we
No.
leave like a check or something to see if we? I don't know.
If what? If
Honestly,
you
I
believe
don't even know what I'm
Chenyar?
Like, it's like
Yeah.
some kind of
No,
demon
no,
or
no, no.
something?
I believe Shinyar.
Oh.
I just mean like smelling someone.
Yeah, you
that
can smell somebody.
a demon
You can
does?
smell somebody being present.
I
Like,
mean-
if you smell a different odor,
Yeah.
and
It's
You know,
not. Yeah, it's not necessarily a supernatural thing to be able to sense somebody with smell, especially if you're perceptive enough.
Can you
So,
smell her right now?
Okay.
can you smell Chenyar right now? I mean, I don't know.
yes, I
I'm
smell
starting
very
to sniff over by
fruity
her
of
to see if
like
I can
fields
smell
of
her.
green.
Well,
Well, Anders, this is what we can do for you. Invite us back to your home, and we will treat your friend with the utmost respect. Unless he is proven guilty, then we will take him in, and the rest is history.
I'm
I understand that.
sorry.
you don't wanna-
Are you saying that you come to my home
Well-
to take him in, or you want to just come
No,
to my home
no.
to
Oh, no,
observe?
we want to observe him first.
That's
I think-
fine. Yes, we can. I can come over. I will tell him that we're having guests tonight. He will, and the other staff will make dinner, and it'll be very pleasant. We can do that. Although Galen is having that party tonight, I don't know if that. I don't know. I should make an appearance to that. It would not look good if I. Can we do like I mean, it's still the morning. Can we go do lunch right now? Maybe.
Perhaps.
Why don't you invite him to the party? Tell him he deserves a
Sure.
break.
Yeah. that's-
Excuse me.
yeah.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Ulrich, how long can you stay disguised as Anders?
Quite a while. I'd have to check the player's handbook.
I can't with him.
I thought it was only an hour, but we are at time, so I think we should probably wrap this up.
AJ leaps up to his feet
Yeah, go.
and he says, "Sure, I have to go." And I run off and I check on the lobster.
You see the little lobster sitting in the pot, and the little claws clacking, and you hear in your head, "Oh, hi, Aize." And with that, we will end tonight's stream with Aize checking in on his little lobster friend. I'm sorry that we have to end there, but we will. We have folks on the East Coast, and I don't want to keep you all too late.
Does she smell right now? I'm just curious.
Sorry, is what?
Does she smell like? Does she have perfume on? That
I don't know. That's entirely up to Chenyar. Chenyar, do you have perfume on?
I smell like a green, fresh cut grass.
There you go.
You do smell. Okay.
No,
I mean,
just
yeah.
absolutely not.
Anyways,
I don't know.
So, thank you all for joining us this evening. We will see you next week to see where this all leads to. And yeah, have a wonderful evening. Goodbye. Once I find the thing, there it is.